Do we have any fans of fish and chips out there? Well, then you'll be a fan of today's Daily Dish. All right, folks, Chef Paul is making a salt and vinegar kettle chip crusted cod with roasted root vegetables. Yes. Take a look at what you'll need for this recipe. Paul, this is a recipe idea I can definitely get behind. It sounds delicious, and it also sounds like kind of healthy, so that's good.
Totally. I mean, it's getting to that point where spring's around the corner. It's a coming, and so you want to eat maybe a little bit lighter, but we're still relying on comfort food. So that's kind of where this came from. Let's say it's like maybe 10, 15% lighter than the original fish and chips, and maybe a little more fun.
Okay, I am with you on that. A little bit lighter, a little bit more fun. How do we start?
All right, so this all starts with roasted roots. So instead of French fries, we're making a medley of roasted roots, and it starts with sweet potato, parsnip, and beet in this case. But you could use whatever you want. You could throw some carrot in there, some celery root. As long as they're scrubbed, I leave the skin on, and I cut them into approximately equal-sized pieces. And now onto a sheet pan. So this recipe calls for 2 small sheet pans or 1 large. So I'm just going to show you on 1 small here. I've added my roots, and I've just added a touch of oil, some kind of a neutral oil like canola oil, and a little bit of salt and some pepper. And I like to do this in the pan. Why make extra dishes? And now I give them a little toss, get them nice and friendly, nice and coated. And then I leave spots for our fish to come because we're going to give these a head start. So these go into a 400-degree oven for about 20 minutes while we prep our fish.
Okay, good call. Now, when it comes to the fish preparation, how are you going to do it? It sounds like you're baking the fish, but are you frying the fish first? Like, how do you want to prep that?
So no, we're not frying anything today. This is totally baked. But, to get that classic fish and chips flavor, I'm going to crust our cod in crushed kettle chips, salt and vinegar kettle chips to be precise. And this is gluten-free. Gluten-free, so I'm going to use cornstarch. So we have our cod here, and I'm just going to dredge it in some cornstarch. And this is a classic breading system here. You want to just nice thin coat, shake off the excess, and into some egg. I just whipped this egg with a little bit of salt and pepper just to season it. And then make sure you get nice and coated. This will be the glue. And as you can see here, I have some crushed up salt and vinegar kettle chips that I just crushed up in the blender. You could do it in the food processor and give that a really good pat. You want a nice coating. So this isn't the lightest fish and chips you'll ever have, but it's just a touch lighter and more flavor than your classic deep fried version. So once you have a really, really good crust on there, you're just ready to add it to the oven. And so, of course, our roots, which we've given a head start, are about halfway there. You can see they're starting to caramelize. No need to flip them or anything. And we're going to add our fish fillets right there where we made those spots for it. And now back into that oven. Another 20 minutes or so till the fish is cooked through and the crust gets nice and brown. You need to broil it the last minute, that's totally fine too. And while that's happening, we're going to make a really simple, spicy tartar sauce.
Ooh, nice.
What I've got here this is simple. 3 ingredients. It's just a cup of mayo, some sweet pickled relish. I'm using about 2 tablespoons, but customize it to your own taste. And I like things a little bit sweet and spicy, so I'm adding equal parts, 2 tablespoons of sriracha. So I'm just going to scrape that in. And now give that a really good mix. And you can make this ahead of time too, of course. Things like this only get better as they sit in the fridge. I like to serve our fish right on top of our roasted roots, maybe a little something green, a little bit of lemon wedge, and a little bit of this spicy tartar sauce right on the side.
Thank you, Chef. That recipe is, of course, on our website. That's cityline.tv, where you can always find all of our chef's recipes anytime you need them.